I recently did a video where I dyed some alpaca wool with black walnuts. I am going to take a few minutes today to show you the basics of knitting.
Let me see if I can't show you how to cast on. So you got this guy right here. Kind of pinching him with the rest of this, but I got a loop there. I put pinch, pinch. I flip this one upside down, stick him in there. Flip it. See, there's an X. And then I grab this one, and then I let go with my thumb and pull that tight. You get your little pinchers. Get this one upside down, twist it, make the X, grab that one, let go with this thumb. Make sure that the length that is towards you when you put your needle in is going towards your yarn, because that's going to be the side that you work with. So you're just going to fasten it to your needle like that. This is a double-ended needle. I actually have a set. These come in sets of 5. And this is for knitting in the round for sleeves, hats, anything that comes in that constant circular motion. But you can also use these independently. I did not have size 5 single-ended needles, so I just grabbed 2 double-pointed needles. We are going to, again, so that's you're casting on that first stitch. From here, make sure that's just tight enough to kind of slide back and forth. You don't want it too tight. You don't want it too loose. That's something called your gauge. As you learn to knit, you want that to be as consistent as possible. So we're going to, he's in the middle there, you see we pinch action, and then we're going to kind of make a crooked N. We're going to take this end of the needle, go outside one side of the N, bring it over outside of the other side of the N, and stay on the inside of this loop. Come up the middle, and then let that go. And there you go. That's 2 stitches. There's your, go back through it. There's the N, crooked N, outside. Not bringing, I'm just bringing that boop, other outside, and then keeping him inside that middle one. Crooked N, outside, outside, middle, let it go. And there we go. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. So I had that this way, cast all those on. So now this is all 10 sets. We want to knit these. We want to get these guys onto this needle. So we do that with, this is our first stitch. And you've got kind of 2 sides here. We're working with, this is the front of the stitch, and that's the back of the stitch. So we're going to take this needle and kind of just put it through that front stitch. And then, like I said, we're going to take this longest piece and bring it, that's how that looks. So you're just going to take that, wrap it around, and then with that, you're going to take this, grab it a little tight. It gets a little tricky. It gets frustrating. So you got to keep that on there and slip him over the other side and keep that stitch on there. And then make sure you hold on to that. I mean, you can let it go, just don't let go of that and the needles. And you slip it onto this one, and there you go. We're going to do it again. So there's the front of the stitch and the back of the stitch. Slip it through the front, in between the 2. Wrap that around. You just kind of keep that tip pushed up against the other one. So I'm going to do this time without twisting it. So there's, I can feel it go through that second loop. And if you go through both of them, it's going to be really tight. You won't be able to get off. Actually, I think I did that right there. Yeah, I did a little bit. Oh no. Yeah, I got that wrap a little bit. It's hard doing this with watching. Okay, so this is the kind of thing, this is where you really put your intentions into every stitch. You can chant, you can sing, you can play music. Something that kind of puts that intention of what this is for, whatever you're working on, that's going to imbue that energy into this, and help you recall what it is that you want to do when you see this, when you are working with this. For this, it's going to be that every time I see this when we walk into our home, that I made this. I dyed this with dye that I made on my own. You know, this is something that I have made from scratch for my home, that I can take pride in, and knowing that I did whatever I could do energetically to help protect my home. And then turn around and made something else out of the same yarn. And I have not decided whether I am going to make a hat or a shawl. I am a huge like scarf kind of person, so I would be remiss to not do the thing that I am most known for. But I don't know that I have enough. I do have a couple of skeins of white. I may do some striping, but not for this one. This one is just going to be the solid brown. I really do love just the golden color of this. It's so deep and warming, and gives that sense of home, that kind of comfy, cozy feeling that I want people to have when they come to my front door. Most of the people that come over knew Amelia, and they know why she's there. I never had to tell my friends that I am a witch. I never consider myself a witch. I consider myself a pagan. I come from the era where witches were Wiccan. It's still a little weird to me. It doesn't really come up in conversation too much, but if they call me witch, yeah, I'm your witchy friend. I am not mad at it. That's why I love my friends. But they all know why she's there, and they will appreciate this. They're gonna see this. They're gonna know that I put this on there. They'll probably know that I made. Where'd you get the scarf? I made it. And you can kind of see I have messed up one of these stitches. It's gonna be not pretty. I am not the best knitter. You might not be getting the best knitting advice from me. But again, I have said that we are going to go on these journeys together, and here we are, messing it up together. And look at me, surviving. The volcano has not started erupting. The hurricane has not started blowing. Everything's fine. I have knit this to a length that I need. It's going to fit. I checked it. So now it is time to cast off. This is also called binding off. It's actually not that hard. So what you're going to do, and again, it's just like knitting through that front one, and you're going to go, let me see if this will pick that up. So you're through that front one. That's your regular knit. Of course, yeah, watch me struggle. I struggle too. I'm actually not that good of a knitter. You're going to knit one, you're going to knit two, and then you're going to take the needle, and this can get a little tricky. You got to kind of hold things down to keep them from sliding. Get it under just that front stitch. And then you're going to take this one and pull this one through here. So let's watch that happen. There it goes, like that. And then you cast off that stitch, and you're going to knit another one and do it again. Hold everything down. When you go through that back one, keep holding it, and then bring that loop through. So the key is kind of holding everything down once you get that second loop brought over. When you get to this last one, and knit that one. This one's being kind of a pain. just pull it through. You're not going to cast it off onto anything. And then with this last loop that you got hanging here, you should have had a needle. So I'm going to do this on the fly since I don't want to let it go. You can kind of widen that out. Pull it back through. So you got this. You can pull this out a little bit. And you just got a big loop. You're going to pull the end through there. And you're done. That's it. I have this large needle for knitting. You could at this point just maybe tie another knot and be done with it. I have one of these. I prefer to do this. So I'm just going to weave it into, you see where these little lumps going to go over? I'm going to push it down into some of those. By about an inch. Pull that through. I think it just makes that end look a little bit more finished off. It's not poking out as much. And then I'll trim that off. And now it is ready to tie onto my houseboard. One of the sweet stories about Amelia, the duck that we raised, is that she loved to eat my red petunias. And what I'm cutting up here is the red petunias that have volunteered every year since I put this board up. I've never planted red petunias out front, but what I'm doing now is increasing the chances of more volunteers for next year. Just trying to get them to volunteer all around that pot instead of just in that one spot. But I will be delighted if just that one spot is the only thing that ever blooms here. For a little more backstory on Amelia, she was a duckling that I found in an industrial welder where I worked. It was during the pandemic and all the wildlife centers were closed. So I asked my husband if we could bring her home and raise her, and he said yes. So during all that, we went on a little adventure, and she did eventually fly off and become wild. We were able to determine that she had made it to a nearby marina and had made many duck friends.
So there you have it.
So that is
how
Amelia.
I made a protection charm for my homeward using the plants and connecting to the land around me. This is something that's going to keep me busy for the rest of the winter and help me continue to connect to that land when I can't get outside. Maybe you've learned to knit a little bit, maybe you haven't. Let me know how effective this was in the comments down below. If you've made it this far, I really appreciate that you've taken the time to spend with me today. If you haven't yet, consider subscribing, comment, or like my video. It really helps my channel grow. If not, that's okay too. I still appreciate you. Until next time, take care, do good, be well. And yes, I did wake up like this.